Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rahman Rahman and welcome to part 4 for review my project in Kodular. So today I'm already built some project in Kodular. The name is calculator. So like as you know, the calculator app is for we count some number like calculation or some or counts the calculation of square, rectangle, triangle, rhombus, parallelogram, circle, trapeze, and more. And today I make the app in this in Kodular. So yeah, it took a long time. So let's get started. First of all, I make first screen that is for uh we can see like the home screen. So I make the app is like if we open, then there will be an option if we want to count about the calculator or like square, rectangle, triangle, or anything else. So if we click, for example, if we click calculator, then the screen will change to this. And if I click, for example, square, then the screen will change to this. And I can calculate the square. Right. So first thing first, of course, I make some option like calculator square, rectangle, triangle. So the first thing is we need to add vertical arrangement. As usual, you can just search in palette vertical here. You just can drag and drop and make the height and make the height and width is still parent. And then I make the background color of the vertical arrangement is like some of it's kind of dark brown. Then I make the line horizontal left and line vertical is top. And then here I make some layout. So in here I make like we can select group. So in one group there are two options. Yeah, for example this. I add some horizontal arrangement here. And inside of horizontal arrangement, there's a calculator option and a circular option. So we can say like the horizontal arrangement is the group and the member is calculator and square. So I make like the element will be horizontal or will be layouted by horizontal. And then I add some space inside of horizontal. And then I make a card view that the inside of card view there's vertical arrangement and inside of vertical arrangement I add some image that I add picture that's about the calculator image that I made in Figma. Then I add label under the image. Then and text is calculator. Then I make a space again. Then I make a card view for make a square. And same like before, inside of the card view square, I add vertical arrangement. And there's the image that I add some picture about the rectangle image or rectangle picture. Then I add some label under the rectangle, sorry, under the square or under the image, and I add text square with that. And I make a space again for make a space between the square and the side of the phone or the screen. Right next, I'll the same like before. I make a horizontal arrangement for making a group, and there's a space for making a space between rectangle and left side of the screen. And I make some card view for making for make a rectangle option. Then inside of the card view I add vertical arrangement same like before, and inside of vertical arrangement I add image, and I add the picture of a rectangle picture. Sorry. Then there's and I add some label under the image, and I add text of rectangle. Then I make space again between the rectangle and triangle. Then I make a card view again for make a group or make the option of triangle. So like before, inside of the card view triangle, I add vertical arrangement for make layout. And then inside of vertical arrangement there's image, and I put the picture of triangle. Then I put label under the triangle for add text of the triangle. The next, same like before, here I just change the option, like there's a rhombus, parallelogram, circle, and trapeze. Alright, so that's all for the first screen or the homepage screen. And now, uh, so for example, if I click this option or the calculator option, there will be a calculator screen. How? First thing first, we need to add screen here. We need to add screen first. Click it. Then just change the name into calculator or calculation or anything else that you want. And then that and if you and the screen or the second screen or the calculation screen will show in here. You can just click the drop down. Then there's your calculation that I made before. Yeah? So next after this we click this, and then we click our new screen that is calculation. And then in calculation here I add some, yeah, of course, some components. So the first is I add some horizontal arrangement, and I make the height and width is a fill parent. And for the background color, I use the same color like the home screen. There's the dark brown. There's kind of dark brown. And then inside of horizontal arrangement, I add some vertical arrangement for make uh vertical layout for the component. And then here I set the line horizontal to center and line vertical to top. And then I set the height and width to into the fill parent. So next, inside of the vertical arrangement, I add some space, and then yeah, I set the height and width is this into the automatic. Then after that, under the space, I add some card view. So basically, in each of screen, there will be a card view and a text box for us to input the number that we need to calculate it or count it. Like for example, this is calculation. Like so, if I input the first number, for example, is I input to number two, then the second number I input three. Then we click this the button plus the plus button. If you click it, there will be a result. 2 plus 3 is 5. So there will be a result 5. Like this. That. So yeah, I add space again, and I add card 2 again for make a card for make a gives like group of the text box or the second number. And then inside of the card view or inside of the second card view, I add text box again for input the second number. Then I add the space for make a space between the second number and the button, like a button, like a plus button, minus button, divide button, and multiple button. But if we add the button just directly, the layout will be random and very bad. So I need to add some horizontal arrangement for my group and make a layout more clean and more tidy for you can say like the layout of the plus button, minus button, divide button, and multiple button. And then under the button or the group button, I add some space again, and I search in palette button, and I make this button for clear all. So if I add some number in first card view, and I add some second number in second card view, then if I click the clear all button, so the number will be erased or will be removed. Then I add some space again under the clear all button. Then I add label or the card view that I name is label result. So it's for show the result of our calculation. And inside of the label result there is label. Then I add the text of result, and there's label result box for add some text of the result that we calculated. And then I add some decoration in palette. So if you search in palette decoration, so there'll be a decoration. You just can drag and drop anywhere that you want. Then it will show uh of the bottom in the components in the bottom of the components. Alright, next, as you can see in the home page, there are a lot of options. So next, I'm going to click this option or this square option. So same like before, we just add screen, and then you just name it square, and then just create. After that, the square option will be shown here. Here, square. So let's make the square page. So it's simple. We just need, of course, the horizontal arrangement like before. So like before, we need horizontal arrangement and make the background color is such a dark brown. And I set the height and width fill parent. And for line horizontal center and line vertical is top. And inside of horizontal arrangement, there is vertical arrangement. And same like before, for the height and width, I set to fill parent. Then line horizontal, I set to center, and line vertical, I set to top. Then let's make component or new component. First, of course, I add some space or make a space between the top of screen and the square image. And then I add some image. I put a picture of square. And then under the image, I add some label that I add text of square. Then I make a little space for make space between the square text and the label of calculate the square. And I add some little space again for make us force the space of calculate the square and the card view for we input the number of the site. And inside of card view there is text box site that we can add some number. We can input the number of the site here. And under the card view I add some space or you can say a little space for make a space between card view and the button calculate. And then I add some a little space again for make a horizontal arrangement here. So it's the result of the area square of the square area and square circumference. And inside of the horizontal arrangement, I add some space on the left side, and I add some card view for make a group of the result. I mean group of our area result. And inside of the card view, I add some label. I add text of area, and there's a little space that I say set the height to the zero. Then I add some label of the result area, and I do like the same for before. So I add some space again, and I add some card view again for make you can say that the circumference result, and I do like same like before. And then next here I go to the rectangle option or the rectangle screen. So like same like before, you just need to add screen and name it rectangle, and then just go to the rectangle screen. Alright, same like before, I add the first thing first I need or I add some horizontal arrangement and I set the background color into dark brown, and I said that one horizontal to center, one vertical to top, and height and width is fill tolerance. And inside of the horizontal arrangement, there is vertical arrangement. And for the properties, is same like before. And then inside of the vertical arrangement, I add some space, and I add some image of rectangle, and I level of rectangle, and I add some space again, a level for making text of calculate the rectangle, and I make this two card view for us to input the number of long and the number of wide. And there's a button calculate. I add some button calculate for we calculate it. Then I add some horizontal arrangement, same like before. There is area and circumference for making a result of the area and circumference. Right, next, I'll go to a triangle screen or triangle option. So like before, just add screen and name it triangle and go to the screen or go to the triangle screen. Alright, I add horizontal arrangement. So like before, for the properties, yeah, all of the screen for the horizontal and vertical arrangement, same, yeah, like the first. Then inside of the vertical, I add some space, and under the space, I make a triangle image, or I add the triangle image, and I add label again for making text of triangle, and I make a little space for making space between triangle and calculated triangle. And then as you can see, there are three card view, and the first card view is, or the first text box is for us to input the best number, and the second is for us to input the height number, and for the third or the last is for us to input the site number. And then I add some button calculate, and then I add horizontal arrangement. The For the inside is same like before. There is a result of area and there is a result of circumference. Alright. And then we go to rhombus option or the rhombus screen. So like what I said before, for the horizontal and vertical arrangement properties is same like before. Then inside of the vertical arrangement, I add some space, of course. Then I add some image again for rhombus, of a rhombus picture, and I add some label under the image for making text of rhombus. And I make a little space, and then I add calculate the rhombus. And there are three card view that inside of the each card view there is text box. And for the first is for us to input the first diagonal number, and the second is for us to input the second diagonal number, and for the third is for us to input the set number. And then I add some button calculate, and then some like before, I add some horizontal arrangement. That inside of the horizontal arrangement, I add some space and cut view for make a result of area, space again, and make a cut view of circumference. And the next, I'll go to the it's like the fifth. Oh no, I mean the sixth option on the sixth screen. There is parallelogram, and then you just can add screen and name it parallelogram, and then just go to the screen. All right. So for the horizontal and vertical arrangement, same like before. Then inside of the vertical arrangement, there is space, and then I add some image or add some parallelogram picture. Then I add label for making a text of parallelogram, and I make a little space, and I add some label again for make a text of calculate the parallelogram, and then I add three card view that inside of the card view there or inside of the each card view there is text box, and for the first text box is for us to input the base number. For the second text box is for us to input the Higg number, and for the third is for us to add some or input the hypotenuse number. And add some calculate or the button calculate, and then some like before I add horizontal arrangement under the button calculate, and inside of the horizontal arrangement add some space, and I make a card view for make a result of area, and I make space again between area group and circumference group, and I add some card view again for make uh, a circumference result. Right, next I go to the seventh option or seventh screen, that is circle. So just like at screen again, and then we just name it circle, and let's go to that screen. So this is the simple screen. The first is of course we need to add horizontal arrangement and vertical arrangement, and then inside of the vertical arrangement there is space, and there's the image that I put ellipse or the circle image, circle picture, and I add some label under this circle picture, and I add some little space, and I add a label for making text of calculate the circle, and I make the little space again, and then I make a card view that inside of the card view there is text box for us to input the radius of the circle. Then I make a little space, then I add some button calculate, so like before, then I make a little space again, and then I add horizontal arrangement that inside of the horizontal arrangement, same like before, yeah. There's a area card view and circumference card view. Or you can say the result of area and the result of circumference. And then next I will go to the last screen or the last option, that is trapeze screen. So same like before, add screen and name it trapeze, and click it, and click this box or drop down and click trapeze screen. Right, so it's a little bit long and a little bit long than before. So like before, I add some horizontal arrangement and vertical arrangement, and then inside of the vertical arrangement, I add piece, and then I add image of trapeze, and I add some label for making text of trapeze, and I make a space a little space, and I add some label to make text of calculate the trapeze, and I make a four text box that each text box there is one. Oh, I mean, I make a four card view, and that each card view I put or in each inside of each card view I add some text box. For the first is for us to input the site A number, and the second is for us to input the site B number, and for the third is for us to input the Higg number, and for the fourth card view or text box is for us to input the hypotenuse number. And then I add some button calculate, and same like before, I add horizontal arrangement, and I add the area result and circumference result. And so, as we know that in Kodular, if we build some application, the app will not works if we not make some code or the blocks. So yeah, I will review the code or the blocks here. First is for the home page. So we just go to the block section. And then here, so this is easy logic. So when the card view calculator on or the calculator option like this, open another screen and the screen name is calculation here. And it's same like this, just change the card view or the option and then just change the screen name of the option that you open it. And then here there's one when screen one backcrash do close application. And then we just go to calculation screen here. And this is so many block here. So you just click the calculation here and then you choose when calculation initialize do. And you just drag and drop and instead of the uh when calculation initialize do, so like what I said before, we need to add decoration for each screen. So here's the block of the decorations here. So like for example, call decoration set shape component text box first, and then so the logic is if we click the text box first, then I guess like we can add some or we can input the number inside of the text box. And then here there's button plus like this, button plus, button minus, button divide, button multiply, or multiple like this. Just add whole decoration set shape component button plus background color is dark brown, border color is same and it's round true. And then add some color decoration set shape component button minus background color dark brown, border color dark brown and it's round true. And so you just add a same block and just you just change the component. Okay. And then here this is for the button for the like the button plus, button minus, button divide, and button multiple, and of course button clear. The next I will go to square. Yeah, square blocks. So here is very simple. We just add when square initialize to in here. Just this. And then same like before, just call the question set shape, text box site, background color, border color, white, strong true, and call the question set padding component, text box site, folder 10, and set label area the text to 0, and you just duplicate it and change the label area into the label circum, and for the values is same. And this is for the button calculate. And then next, let's go to rectangle block here. So like before, so basically if you want to that uh make the text box works, I just need to add decoration like this, and then you just change the component and of course the color, and just add this set label area the text to 0 and set label circum the text to 0, and then you just add some a code for button calculate, and it's same like the previous screen. So it's for calculate the number that we input each the text box. So that's for simple like that. for not make you for not make you confused for the block. So that's simple. And then next I go to triangle screen for blocks here, same like before. And then yeah, you just you just need to code or you just need to add some blocks for the input, for the text box and for the calculate button. That's all. So you don't need to add some button again or anything else. And then go to rhombus screen. Same, yeah, same like before. You just add the can say like how to make the text box works, like this, and then just make the how to calculate works in a rhombus screen like this. So it's like this, this. Then next go to parallelogram screen here, and then you just go to blocks, the same like before, like this, and we go to circle screen, and we go to blocks section, uh, and then yeah, because the circle screen is and for the text box of the circle screen is only one, so we just need the decoration of the text box is only one like this. And then we go to the last screen that is trapeze, and we go to blocks section, and yeah, this is because like maybe this there's so many blocks that we need to add, but simply you just need to make the text box it works, then just make the calculate is the button of calculate is works, and then that's it. And then for there's an additional blocks for trapeze that is last global, but in Indonesia you can say pertambahan sisi to blah blah blah. So you just add this add variable here, and then you just go, and then you just pick this, and you just can change the name, like for example like this taman sisi, or you can say the site site add I like this. And then we go to tax and pick this. And that's all. So that's all for the block and for the design of the calculator app. And now I make this project around 2 weeks maybe. Okay, so now I'm gonna test it in Color Companion for test the demo of the calculator app. So here is the app, right? And then we just need to click this hash and then connect to complete. And there will be a code that we can copy it, this, and then you just click send. Yes. And then just wait. Sweet. Alright, so there'll be a notification of loading, and we just need to wait until it's done. Alright, and this is for the result of the calculator app that I built. So this, for example, I click a calculator app, this, calculator app, and then the screen will be changed to the calculator screen. And if I input the first number here, for example, 50, for the second number is 120, oh, 120, then I click the plus button here, and then the result will here 170. And if I click clear all, number that I input before will be removed. Ah, right. So that's the demo of the calculator app, and maybe that's all from me. Sorry if I have many mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.